Okay, so now let's move on to the developer video about Doom with the Dark Ages. The Slayer is seen walking towards a new enemy, as another warrior is on his knees. The Slayer wields the spiky mace and chain. There's a few Sentinel soldiers, which looks like a gunfight is occurring. Titans are going to be seen more often, considering they were still around in this part of the story. And one Titan would toss a damaged Atlan mech, which kind of reminds me of Pacific Rim, which I believe Hugo Martin did work on also. And one of the Titans gets kicked off the edge into a large pit. As the Slayer falls over the edge, the Titan on the left side and the position of the structure looks like it's part of the cutscene that just played earlier. There's a new hairy demon feeding on the body of someone. The story is set during the time period before Doom 2016, which serves as a prequel. So they're going to reimagine a lot of aspects of the game. The feel of the game is going to be similar to other Doom games in some way. In Doom Eternal, you felt like a fighter jet, which is based on all the big jumps and time you spent in the air, but in Doom the Dark Ages, you're going to feel like an iron tank, heavy, strong, but still fast. The gameplay is going to focus on a grounded combat system with emphasis on power. They're going to balance enemy projectiles and player movement, so if you want, you can still do strafe shooting, but the goal is to always innovate and create new mechanics. The shield saw, which we saw already, can block, throw, and parry for one input. They want every Doom game to be a bit different with how you play it. Doom 2016 was to run and gun. Doom Eternal was to jump and shoot. Now in Doom the Dark Ages, you're going to stand and fight. The shield saw is going to give you the ability to stand up against many enemies. After you parry their attacks, you can use melee options, like an iron flail, electrified gauntlet, or a spiked mace. 3 melee options are part of a melee system with combos and upgrades. You can also control how to finish off the enemies from any angle and have total freedom. I'm actually kind of glad they focused more on a grounded kind of system because all that, high flying, weird kind of action they had in Eternal was kind of not really for me. I kind of prefer the traditional boots on the ground approach, so I think I'll like this game a bit more than Doom Eternal. Doom 2016 was fun also, I enjoyed that, but I feel like for me, for my playstyle, I prefer boots on the ground. Alright, so now let's talk about the guns in this game. This one looks like a double barrel plasma rifle. I mean, kind of. We also see the normal shotgun is back along with the super shotgun, the skull crusher, and the stake gun, which I really like. There's a lot of emphasis on block and parry for combat, and as you can see, his melee combo is used up. It starts off at 3 and goes down to 0. When he uses a 3-hit melee combo, it then starts to auto-refill on its own, as you see on the bottom corner with the icon of the fist. The next part is a new feature. You can attach the shield saw to a surface, then press a button to pull yourself to it. This might be the new way to get around large holes. I'm not sure if you can do this on any surface, but the green glow you see there might be the indicator that this is the place you can place the shield to pull yourself up. Now in this part, we get to see the shield bounce enemy projectiles back to them. He then throws it to the giant demon on 4 legs and it gets stuck and cuts into his head. This also seems to extend the time this enemy is vulnerable. He then knocks the rider off with a melee weapon. He then takes out a group of enemies holding up shields by one single use of throwing the shield saw, then go for the parry, then shield charge and shoot another. This Mancubus has a flamethrower, so fire off a few rounds with the skull crusher, toss the shield, and the purple circle seems to indicate you can now do a glory kill. If you notice at the bottom, the face icon they have there tends to animate, kind of like how they did it in the original Doom game. It might just be a few still frames, but still, it's a similar idea. They now have modifiers to change how the game operates in different ways. You can change many aspects of the game to fit your playstyle. You can increase the damage you take, damage to enemies, change the speed of enemy projectiles, enemy aggression, increase or lower the parry window, day's duration, but the game speed option is one that's going to make the game different for everyone. Some of us might want slower gameplay. And other players might want the game even faster, which does change how it plays. They also cover the topic around the Atlan. It's a 30-story mech. You can beat titans with melee attacks or other weapons. You also get access to a cybernetic dragon, which can breathe fire, use a Gatling gun. Both of these modes are going to have a list of abilities and even mini bosses. And over here, we can see 2 titans versus 1 Atlan. Oh, and they got weapons. Oh, and now you pull out the machine gun. Oh, nice. They also cover exploration. You'll come across mysterious worlds from the Slayer's past. Dark forests, dungeons, ancient hellscapes, battlefields, and worlds beyond. You can also unlock new abilities along the way. Your shield saw is going to help you solve puzzles and reach hidden areas. They give us a preview of one level. A city is being attacked by demons, and you set out to seek targets and enemy formations. From there, you can use any weapon and attack method. As you explore these worlds, you'll find secret rooms that contain resources you can use. So watch this part right here. Only one projectile from this enemy is green. I think that's the one you can only use to have this parry effect on him. After you've broken the enemy assault, you head back to the main gates and confront a Titan demon. The battle isn't over yet. The soundtrack is composed by the team at Finishing Move. It's loaded with guitars, medieval vibes, and pure adrenaline. There's a demon we see during this scene who's facing towards an Atlan mech. That looks like the one we saw earlier when the Slayer is walking towards it. It's also the same one we saw in this part, and later on, we see the full details of their face. They're saying the story of the Slayer in this game is pretty big. The Slayer is going to be imprisoned at the start of the story. There's a being that looks like it's related to the Khan Maker in some way, and also the angels that serve them. The balance of power between good and evil is shifting, and time is running out. It's going to be a new story. The narrative has been taken out of the codex and placed into the cutscenes, featuring new characters, old allies, and powerful new villains. It's going to lead directly into the Doom 2016 Slayer Testaments, which means the lore is going to connect from this game into Doom 2016. We also have a few pictures to look at from the Steam page. This looks like a Hell Knight covered in armor, with symbols or runes in different areas. The next one shows a few imps. Their design was updated with longer bones out of their shoulders, and in the back, we see a battle between a Titan and an Atlan mech. This next picture shows a new enemy. It looks like the body of a tyrant, but with modifications and wings. We get a view of the landscape in this picture with a few sentinels on a rooftop. This last one is a closer look at the villain we saw earlier. Now we can see all the details on its face. There's going to be a few editions of the game available for purchase, the standard, premium, and collectors, each one having a different price tag and different content with it. The prices are from $70, $100, and $200, but check your region for the accurate numbers. As you can see, this game will have a 2-day early access with premium and collectors. Here's what the Void Doomslayer skin might look like. It's just great. They've also got a preview of the Divinity skin pack. It's a matching set for the Dragon, Slayer, and the Atlan. The collector edition includes a 12-inch Slayer statue. It comes with shield saw, a detachable super shotgun, flail, and faux fur cape. Okay, so that is everything I found within the developer video of Doom the Dark Ages. So, what do you think about it so far? Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you next time.